Hi, this is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com's DevOps TV here at Does 16 in San Francisco. Happy to be joined by a friend of mine, Robert Reeves, CTO of Datical.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to have you on, Robert. So, Robert, we look at Does this year. It's bigger than last year, which was bigger than the year before. We look at other DevOps shows. We look at the DevOps market, and it's hard to say that DevOps is not A, cross the chasm, B, gone mainstream, C, a major force in the way IT is being done today.
All true.
All true. Easy questions. But, you know, Robert, as we were talking earlier and speaking in the past, so many people, when they were thinking of DevOps, were thinking, you know, of development, of the app, of deploying the app, of operating the app. And when you started talking about things like security or QA or the database and the DBA, it wasn't really clear. I think they were so focused on the app.
Sure.
It wasn't really clear how important, right? It was like right out of the goal, right? The book.
Yeah.
Where as soon as you fix one bottleneck, one resource constraint, it's the next bottleneck that'll stop you.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's, in a lot of ways, I'm not saying the database is the bottleneck, but it can be if it's not in concert, if you will, with the rest of what's going on here.
Oh, for sure.
Fair?
Yeah, I agree. I think the database does become the bottleneck once you have brought DevOps to the application. And that's the first place to do it. That's where the most people are. That's where you get a lot more attention with the application. There's a lot of change there. But once you automate that, once you have brought DevOps to that, and you are moving the application, that compiled code, from dev to test to production, then, just like the goal, you look for the next thing. And our customers at Datical are telling us it's the database. The database is the next thing that stops them.
And so, Robert, what are you doing at Datical to open up that resource constraint, to remove that bottleneck?
Well, for sure. What we've tried to do at Datical, and I think we've done a pretty good job, is to bring the same efficiency, the same automation to the database. Now, these are two different worlds. The world of the application of compiled code and the world of the database. Because with an application, whether you are pushing to an app server or containers or something like that, the application doesn't have state. So we can just blow away the old version. Oh, we push a new one and we need to roll back? No problem, we can do that. With the database, that's really challenging. And so what we've brought is a few things to the database to bring it on par with the application. We have forecast, show you what we're going to change, but don't change it. We have a rules engine, which allows you to automate without somebody watching. So you can have true automation, enforcing standards, naming convention, don't add a foreign key unless an index exists for both columns. And then finally, a deployment packager, the concept of allowing people to write SQL and to daticalize it, bring it into this format that we can forecast and apply the rules engine. So what we've tried to do, and I think we've done a pretty good job, is the same automation and ease of use with the application with respect to DevOps. We've done that for the database.
Got it. So, Robert, one of the things also unique to Datical, and I see it maybe because, like you and I, we're DevOps conference moles. We're at every one, but because and maybe it's partly because of the unique role that the database plays in the DevOps equation. Is you guys partner with CA, you partner with IBM, you partner with a whole bunch of different players.
Electric Cloud, absolutely.
And is it because of the database's unique kind of placement within this DevOps culture or this DevOps ecosystem?
Well,
or what do you think?
I am very proud of what we've accomplished at Datical. One of the founders, I see I hear from our customers about vacations that they're able to take now. These our
Right.
DBAs can actually go on vacation. They're seeing more little league games, those
Right.
sorts of things.
And that's important.
Oh, it is, absolutely. It pains me that, to some extent, though, that as an industry we have ignored this. And I think that parallels how we've looked at the database as an industry for decades. The database has always been somebody else's problem. We need to change the database. Well, let's write a ticket and throw it over the fence, and somebody else will take care of it. We can't do that anymore. All right, it is no longer somebody else's problem. It is our problem. And so line of business managers, application owners are getting it. They're realizing that they cannot get the return on their investment in DevOps without including the DevOps. So this chasm, this split between app dev and DBAs, it needs to go away. All right, it is our problem when we are not able to get an update out without some manual intervention. It must go away, or else the companies that do not automate, well, they're not going to be around much longer. And so we must bring in the database to get that full end-to-end continuous delivery.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, Robert, what do you think of DevOps Enterprise Summit so far today?
Well, I'm very, I wish it was somewhere in the mountains.
Not me.
Well, they pushed back snowboarding.
I know.
The opening day, and I'm bummed out. I was going this
Having
week.
mountains without snow. Well, there's probably snow there now, but is that why we've got the Big Lebowski
Oh, I
sweater?
love it. I love it. It's just so
Okay.
cozy.
it looks like something around a fireplace.
Man, I'll tell you what. I was here a few weeks ago for Oracle Open World. Same hotel, everything. And I got to tell you, I love my DBAs.
Right.
But this is a much smaller conference, but it's much more intimate and it's much more fun.
Yeah.
It is, everybody here is really trying to solve these problems, and there really seems to be a lot of energy to it,
Yeah.
and I love that. So I'm
too.
having a blast.
Me too. Me too, man. Anyway, I will see you next week at CA World, where
Yes,
we're doing
sir.
a panel on continuous testing and or the death of the QA guy or something like that.
Yes.
But it ought to be fun. And
Automation killed the QA star?
yes,
Is that what we're doing?
that's what it was. Automation killed the QA star. And you and I actually, we do webinars and
for sure.
panels all the time. But anyway, thanks for being our guest today.
Of course, anytime.
Absolutely. Robert Reeves, CTO, co-founder Datical, is bringing the database to DevOps. This is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com's DevOps TV.